What's up, world? Stephen Michael Zach here, and today we're going to be continuing our GVM 1000D coverage as we talk about all the lighting tests, the different modes, everything that it has to offer up on the white wall, so stick around. Now there are three buttons here. The bottom button is your mode button as it's labeled, and you're going to be in a mode called rotate, and that will let you rotate through all the different functions. Now, pressing the mode button is going to put you right into what we call slave mode. Now, GVM has the best master slave mode I have ever seen. It just works. So now this is in slave mode. Pushing the mode button one more time, it moves you into the master mode, which means the other two will mimic this one when they are in slave mode. And then pressing this again puts you into app mode. And now that is the mode that works with your phone app, which we will cover in another portion of this review. Pressing the mode button again takes you back to rotate and allows you to control the light. When you go into app mode, you have no control back here. You have to control it through the app. So just make sure that you are in rotate if you want to actually control it from the back here. Okay, so here is the panel, and we are at full brightness. We are at, let's go to 5500 Kelvin, because that's what my light is set to. And as you can see, there is a big hotspot in the center, and the fall off is what you would expect from a panel. It is pretty decently wide. Not super wide, but pretty decent for a panel of this size. Now let's go ahead and check out the multiple shadowing. And the multiple shadowing is not great. It is just okay. It's pretty good. When you get a little bit too far, it gets a little shadowy. Not terrible. Let's go ahead and slide out the plastic plate here, the little plastic here, and then you get some about maybe a little bit more shadowing than you would. So multiple shadows, even though it is a cross pattern, are okay, but you're still getting them. So there you go. You're going to need to diffuse this. Now here is the RGB, and it's not the brightest RGB in the world, but it seems to work. And let's go ahead and make that full brightness. And let's just go through the RGB spectrum, and it is 360, exactly what you would think. Now there are some jumps in RGB here, but it is fairly smooth. You are seeing some jumping around. But it is fairly smooth between some of the LEDs. And of course, pressing this in again controls your saturation. And for smoothness on the color temperature, there's about a jump from 56 to 55. And then this thing is pretty smooth all the way down. So very, very nice until you hit 3300 and go to 3200, and then the other LEDs turn on. So all in all, not a bad little panel, very much like almost every other GVM. So all in all, a very nice little panel. Okay, I just wanted to show you that there is no difference in power from when you go to plugged in to battery. It is still very much the same amount of power, which is quite good. Okay, so as you can see, the light has the grid and the diffusion on. It is about 3 feet away from me, just out of arm's reach, and it is doing a really nice job being a key light. I think it works fantastic. It definitely controls the light. I am at 5500 Kelvin, because that's what my camera is set to. And let's go ahead and take a look at the RGB. Okay, so here is the RGB at full brightness, and as you can see, this is very, very nice. Now, one thing I did notice on the grid is the grid is starting to kind of peel away from the side of the softbox, creating just like a little bit of a gap. Not a big deal because you're using a grid, you're trying to separate anyway. But that is just something that I'm noting, is that the grid kind of sort of fits. And here we are at 50% power, and I'm not going to go any lower than this because you will not be able to see me. But just know that if you're using this as a key light, you're going to use it at 100% or around 100%, because 50% is more of a hair light, is more hair lightish than it is a key light. So let's go ahead and take off the grid and check it out. And here we are with just the diffusion in, and it's doing a very, very nice job. Again, I see the diffusion, because it is too small for the softbox, it is starting to kind of peel and you're getting some of the light leaking through. Not a huge issue, but it is something to keep in mind that the diffusion and the grid don't really fit inside. I mean, they fit inside well enough, but they are going to peel away from the sides. Okay, so here we are at 100% with just the softbox on and nothing in front of it, and it is super bright, so I'm going to turn this down. And here we are at 40% with just the plastic diffusion panel in and the softbox is on. And as you can see, this thing is pretty darn bright for the size, which I am very impressed with. And here is just the panel with the diffusion grid in at 40%. And here is the panel without the little diffusion plate in at 40%. Okay, so here we are with the light. This has the barn doors on it, and it's about 60%. And it is super bright, so I would highly recommend using the softbox, taking off the barn doors, and using the softbox if you're going to use it for an interview setup such as this. Okay, let's see how the barn doors cut. Now, normally my preference is not to use barn doors on a panel. I usually either put it in a softbox or I just use the panel bare or put some kind of scrim or diffusion in front of it to cut it down. But the sides cut very nicely. I see maybe a little bit of shadowing on the sides, but not really. I don't really see any shadowing, which is good. And then when you start to close the top and bottom, when you get almost closed, you are going to get those lines, those cut lines. But when you open it up a little bit more, the cut lines seem to stretch out a bit. So all in all, not bad. If you did want to shape this light, you could. It shapes fairly nicely. Keep in mind, you are getting a lot of light leak from the top and the sides and the bottom. Also, the screen is illuminated, and up here in the grill, you could also see, and let me tip it forward so you could see that there is a lot of light leak around this. So if you're one of those people who are annoyed or don't want the light leakage, you will have to get some either cinefoil or tinfoil or gaff tape, and I wouldn't use gaff tape, but some people do, and just cover this up. I would suggest tinfoil or cinefoil. And there you have it, the last part of a review on the GVM 1000D. So let me know in the notes below if you like the fact that I'm breaking these up now so that my videos aren't 30 minutes long. I know I like the short format, but let me know if you want me to do more of these and kind of spread it out throughout the week. So with that said, those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash that bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.